In this video, I'll show you the 5 steps to build foot arch and ankle stability. Let's get started. Our feet are rooted to the ground via 3 points of ground contact, forming a wide triangular base. We see this most accurately in babies whose feet fan out at the toes. This triangular shape should persist through to adulthood, with the tips of the toes remaining the widest part. Instead, most adults' feet are widest at the base of the toes and then taper inwards. This can lead to problems like bunions, which affect about 1/3 of adults. The narrow base makes us less stable and also affects the stabilizing muscles inside the feet. That's because when the bones in the feet are aligned correctly, all the muscles and connective tissue are tensioned evenly. But if one toe is out of alignment, it changes tension on that side, which can make the whole foot arch structure unstable. This is why bunions are related to collapsed arches, also known as acquired flat feet. So how do people's feet lose their natural shape? Well, it comes down to wearing shoes that are not shaped like their feet. Shoes are tapered inwards to a point, but our feet are supposed to fan outwards. So because we spend so much time in shoes, our feet eventually mold to the shape of them. To fix this problem, we need to start wearing naturally shaped shoes. That's where our sponsors Origo shoes come in. They design their shoes around the natural shape of the feet. That means 2 things for your toes. They can remain straight and they have enough room to spread or splay apart. Let's cut open a pair to see how this works. Now for the fun part. Okay. Natural cotton upper. See the natural toe box design. Straight. Anyway, let's see the feet. As you can see, the regular shoe design on the left severely restricts proper toe alignment, while Origos on the right provide the space for the feet to conform into that stable triangular base of support. While Origo's main drawing card is that they're healthy for our feet, they also happen to be really good looking shoes with that classic sneaker design and are made using sustainably sourced natural materials. Links to Origo shoes together with our discount code can be found below in the description. Thanks to Origo for sponsoring this video and looking after our foot health. The next step is to exercise the 4 layers of intrinsic foot muscles. These work together to form our lower body's base of support, also known as our arches. Like all muscles, they can only be strengthened through movement. For example, a bicep is strengthened through full elbow flexion and extension in the bicep curl. If I stop movement at the elbow joint, the bicep muscle stops working and it can't get stronger. So we need to produce more movement through the 33 joints in our feet in order to stimulate muscle growth and strengthen them. Well, footwear that has arch support and a thick, rigid sole does not allow your feet to move much. This type of shoe is designed to be supportive to the muscles. This can have a negative side effect where they will start to depend on the shoes for help. This is known as a crutch, and it's something we want to avoid if we want strong feet and ankles. The alternative is to wear minimalist barefoot style shoes like the Origos, which have a hyper flexible sole. This allows freedom of motion at all the joints in our feet, causing the foot muscles to get a workout every time we wear them. As a result, these muscles become stronger over time. And it has been proven in a recent study whereby daily activity in minimalist footwear increased foot strength by 57.4% in just 6 months. For me, this is an easy way to get stronger without doing any extra work. If I just wear shoes that let my feet move more, I will automatically get stronger, or at the very least, take off all footwear for some time each day. Okay, moving on to the next step, which is to try to increase our feeling with the ground. Let me explain. Let's say that we are running and we land on an uneven surface. The faster we sense the change in the ground slope, the faster we can react by stabilizing the ankle and foot, and the less chance we have of injuring them, like in an ankle sprain. This is known scientifically as time to stability. Now, the best way to improve our time to stability is by enhancing our sense of feeling, also known as proprioception. We can only enhance our proprioception by removing barriers which block our senses. So if we need to feel the ground when we move around, we should look at what separates us from the ground. And once again, we have to look at the shoes we wear. The common training shoes place thick slabs of EVA foam between us and the floor. This is done in order to absorb impact forces. That's all well and good, but it's those forces that the body needs to feel so that it can respond appropriately to them. Let me give you an example. Research shows that shoe runners predominantly heel strike, while barefoot runners predominantly forefoot strike. This change in movement pattern is caused through feeling of the ground forces, because when I have cushion under my heels, I can tolerate landing on them. But as soon as I remove the cushion and try to land on my heels, I feel such a shock up my leg that I quickly adjust position and run more on the balls of my feet. So my body responds to the impact and pain by finding a more efficient way to run that has less impact on the body. And that's where barefoot shoes come in once again. They are usually less than 1 centimeter thick in the soles, which provide only enough protection to prevent our feet from harsh temperatures, cuts and scrapes. They don't block our senses though, thereby preserving our ground feel. Barefoot shoes are a lot like surgical gloves. Doctors wear them to protect their patients from infection while still being able to feel and do delicate operations. Alright, moving on to step 4, which is to improve ankle mobility. Your ankle joint needs to be able to bend a certain amount while moving. When it can't do this, the body makes some compensations by turning the foot out and letting the arch collapse through pronation. It's as if the foot arch becomes a second ankle joint in this scenario. But as you can imagine, this can cause problems with lower limb alignment and stability. There are 2 ways to fix the problem of tight ankles. The first is to not wear shoes with a raised heel. Raised heels shift your body forward towards your toes, and this makes your ankle and calf muscles shorter over time. The second way to fix the problem is to actively increase mobility at the joint. This can be done by doing exercises that target the joint through its full range of motion. The best of these is the squat. Squats are one of the most basic shapes our body can conform to. Kids play in this position all the time, like my beautiful daughter in this clip. If you have trouble getting into a squat because of tight ankles, do it while holding onto support. This will help pull yourself down deeper, which forces your ankles to flex fully. But make sure to do this barefoot and be aware of not spinning your feet out and collapsing your arches. Try to keep the feet pointed straight while maintaining stable foot arches at all times. Spending just 5 minutes a day in the squat can do absolute wonders for your ankle mobility. Give it a try for 2 weeks and then post your progress in the comments. Okay, time for the 5th and final step, strengthening your glutes. Now, you may be wondering why I'm mentioning this, especially if you're looking to build foot arch and ankle stability. But the glutes are actually very important muscles for lower limb stability. This is because their muscle fibers run in a slight horizontal orientation. This means that when they contract, they rotate the lower limbs outwards. So by activating our glutes, we can help prevent the weak and internally collapsed foot and ankle position. To be sure you understand what I'm saying, try this yourself. With both feet pointed straight ahead, stand totally relaxed. Then squeeze your butt. Place your fingers on the muscles to feel them activate. Then watch what happens down at your feet. You should see your foot arches lift and become more prominent. Relax your whole body again and you'll notice your arches drop back down. Then squeeze your butt once more and watch your arches change shape again. This is the beautiful downstream effect of glute muscle activation. In order to train your glutes for better lower limb stability, you can practice single leg balancing. A study found that people with unstable ankles were worse at balancing on one leg than those with stable ankles. But after 4 weeks of balance training, the difference between the 2 groups was no longer significant. That's because balance training works all the stability systems in your body, from your glutes to your toes. Unlike many other lower limb exercises, balance training is done while standing up, which mimics many everyday activities. This makes it highly functional exercise. To start, stand on one leg without shoes and try to balance for a minute or more. If you can do this easily, then try doing the same thing but with motion. Press your toes into the ground and lift your heel up. Then lower it slowly back down. Make sure that your hips stay level at all times. If they drop down on one side, that means you're not activating your glutes effectively. And that's it. Once you have these 5 steps down, you can join me in our more in-depth classes at our Barefoot Strength Academy. I've linked to it below along with everything else mentioned in this video. But until then, cheers.